I've won, and again, a nice game played between Raimond and me. This time Raimond plays with white and I play with black. In Paco Ŝako we have not developed yet specific openings. There are some thoughts about openings and of course what to do. Developing your pieces, obviously. We've played the queen out very fast in some occasions. But we're still searching for what to do. So this is quite fun. Both queens are played out very fast. A queen in combination with a pawn is often pretty good because you can often release your queen quite quickly after that. And of course use your queen in combinations in that way. So I guess white is a bit slow with developing the pieces, keeps them close to the king in this position. I castle here because, let me put the arrows on, because I want to maybe release my queen. I could go to the pawn as well, play it forward. White puts the queen in between there to cover that line a little bit. The bishop pins the knight on d2. Pieces are developed a little bit, and of course this pawn is played forward by the knight to break the line of the rook over here. Now the rook joins the party, little dance party in the center there, and Raimond plays the knight-queen combination out of position, so I can't really release my queen at this moment. I give a little check here from the knight to the bishop, and Raimond defends this by releasing the knight and plays the knight together with my knight. I bring my other rook into the game, and Raimond castles. Good time to castle at this moment. I also bring my other rook into the game. Now Raimond gives a little check, and with the check he also creates an opportunity to release the queen in the next move. I move my king aside. There's not really a lot of opportunity for Raimond. He can release the queen. So Raimond plays his rook to e1, possibly to make a combination here with the bishop and pawn, and then bring the rook into the game here, or possibly here. So I was looking for a while already to make this very nice combination, to release my rook, put my rook here into the loop with the queen and the other rook. And this actually creates a double loop, and at some point you can place your queen either here or here. But now by placing the white rook on e1, I actually create an opportunity to place my queen here. I give a check. So this is what I do, and I release my rook, my first rook. This jumps into this loop. It releases the second rook. Rook goes to queen. Queen goes back to rook. Rook goes back to the other rook. Rook goes back to the queen. And now the queen can jump to f1. I'll show you one more time. This is kind of a double loop. It can also happen with the bishops. So pawn releases rook, releases queen, goes to rook, goes to rook, goes to queen, and now the queen comes to f1. And at this moment I actually thought I have a win, because this is a very nice combination. The only way to defend this is basically by creating a union with this queen. So I thought the only option that Raimond had is create a union with this rook. So when Raimond creates a union here, I would move my bishop to e2, and this would give again a check, of course, by this movement. And in this situation, the only option is basically to place this rook-queen combination away to either here, 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 or here. You cannot put a piece between the bishop and the queen, and you cannot move your king away, because this combination is still there. So let's see. If Raimond would play his rook here, then I would have the combination of releasing my rook, bishop to queen. And the same counts for this field. And obviously this bishop covers this and this field. So these four fields are already covered by these two bishops. And then there's the last option for b1, and this also is covered because this bishop can go to the rook can go to the other rook, goes back to the rook. This is a loop with the rooks, and this bishop can go here, and then the queen could go to the king. So if the rook-queen combination was placed on b1, this bishop could jump into the loop with the rooks, could be released, release the queen, and the queen could go to the king. So I thought that's a win for me. But I didn't realize that Raimond had another trick in his sleeve. So with this knight on d6, he could release the queen. The queen can step into the loop with the bishop, and the pawn comes out again and can go to f1. So this is what he does. He releases the queen. Queen goes to pawn, goes to bishop. Bishop goes back to the queen, and the queen goes to f1. Now I play my bishop to f5 to release my knight, possibly my bishop. Raimond creates a union with my bishop. I move my knight to e7, either to release my pawn or bishop, to then release my knight and try to make some combinations here. Raimond releases the queen, and I move my rook with the bishop combination to d3. Now I create a nice combination here. I can release my bishop. Bishop goes to knight. Knight goes to rook. Rook goes to rook. Goes back to the knight. Goes to the queen and goes to the king. Dances with the king. So this basically is Ŝako. Raimond is now in Ŝako, or check, as you would say in chess. Raimond defends that by playing my knight away. So I release my bishop and play it to d3. Now I set up a nice combination for myself. It's covered, and you'll see it. I'll show it. Raimond releases his bishop and gives a little check. But Raimond didn't realize at this moment that he was in check already. So this bishop on d3 is between these two rooks. But once you play it away, it obviously clears this line. So what you can do, you can release the knight. The knight steps into the loop with the two rooks, is released, releases the queen, and the queen dances with the king. Pazzo black. So that was a very nice combination. And I'll actually play the combination, and black wins the game. If you like this video and the Paco Ŝako game, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. Look for the links in the description below.